Okay, we're gonna see if this thing is going to run out of space on me because I think I need to get rid of some videos and pictures and stuff. Anyhow, hi. I hope you guys are doing great. Um, it is February 26th now, coming off of the 25th. And let's see, what did I want to talk about? I feel like my energy in the last video was like pretty low energy. I think near the end of the video, it got more interesting probably, but you'd have to like watch it all the way through and stuff. I like that video, but I do think it was like very low energy. And yeah. Anyway, what did I want to talk to you guys about? So this is a naughty video, kind of, sort of, because I am going to get into a naughty topic here. Let me see, where should I start? I'm going to start on the less naughty part, and then I'm going to get into the naughty part. So this is for adults only. Okay, I'm not going to do the whole signing in age restriction thing, but I'm making it clear this is meant for grown-ups, okay? So the first part is I saw a post. I like to comment on things that I've seen online and stuff, you know. I saw a post about whether or not it's cheating namely referring to a man to like other women's pictures. Is that cheating? And my answer is no. Asterisk. Do you like the woman you're with's pictures? And also, what kind of pictures are you liking? Are you liking thirst trap pictures? You know, where you can see boobage and booty and all that kind of stuff. And it's like apparent that the picture is meant to like, sorry, my eyes. I love this mascara. I'm wearing so much, but it does kind of irritate my eyes sometimes. Anyway, on that note, by the way, it's Tartlet. Yes, the Tartlet mascara. And no, I'm not getting paid. I wish. Anyway, but on that note, I was just going to say that I don't think that it's cheating to like other people's pictures. But I will say that if you're in a relationship, be thoughtful about your partner and how things come across. Even if you don't feel that that's where you're coming from, people's pride matter. It matters, you know, especially someone you love, and how things come across and everything. So, you know, one of the most hurtful things a man can do, I think, is send the message to another woman that she can take you from the woman you're with. I am so sorry. It's usually not this bad. Oh, sorry. I feel like I have an eyelash in my eye or something, but I don't think so. Anyway, but yeah, to send a message to another woman that she can have you. I have absolutely been there. I'm not going to get specific. I'm not. But I have been there. Also, someone who will leave comments. If you're a guy and you're leaving comments on another woman's pictures and you're married or in a relationship, unless she is holding a degree or a baby, a positive baby test or something, and just, you know, that kind of thing, like the kind of thing that you would never look at as being disrespectful to your partner, then don't do it. Don't do it. Just don't do it. Okay. So I don't think it's cheating in and of itself, but I do think it's kind of a gray area. And if it makes your partner feel uncomfortable, then do not do that shit. Okay. What else was I going to add to that? Oh yeah. And I was going to say, like, without being specific, I have been in a relationship before where the person I was dating thought it was cute to like leave comments and hearts and all that shit under other women's stuff. But with me, no. I would get love from almost everybody but him, just about. And that was like super hurtful. So don't recommend. Don't do that. You're setting your relationship up to fail. So again, in and of itself, it's not cheating. I can agree with that. But it can be disrespectful depending on what kind of picture it is, what you're doing, etc., etc. It could be deemed as disrespectful, and especially if it makes your partner feel some type of way. So there's that. What else? Okay, I think I'm going to jump into the naughty thing. So there's this picture going around. I'm about to look it up. I think it's Neo or Neo. I do not, y'all. I guess it's pronounced Neo. I was never like, or Neo, whatever. Anyway. Not me getting tired again. Sorry. Okay. Let me see. Okay, I put down Neo polyamorous. Okay, Neo, the R&B singer, is currently in a polyamorous relationship with 4 women. Okay, you can look this up for yourself. I'm trying to find this picture that's been going around because it looks like it's him, but it's only 2 women. It's him snuggled up with 2 women if it is him. So I'm trying to see. No, that's not it. I know you guys think I'm weird. Hold on. Okay, maybe not. Maybe not. Okay, maybe that wasn't him. But that's funny because the guy looks like him. And people in the comments were like, that looks like Neo. Hold on. Okay. I am trying to see if I can find anything. Anything in my group posts or anything. I'm so sorry, you guys. Okay, well, the long and the short of it, I'm sorry. Oh, here it is. Okay, here it is, if you guys can see. Except this is a video. What I was looking at was not a video.
My man and my children when
Hold on.
away. My man and my children when I'm away. I want it and I will have it. And she will respect and honor me and appreciate the fact that I welcomed her into our business of family. And she's going to love me and she's going to love him.
Okay, girlfriend. Anyway, sorry. Okay, so I should have had my ducks together before I started talking about it. But the long and short of it is that, yeah, someone shared a picture of him with 2 women. And I don't know who was the wife and who was the, other person. But the topic was, and they kept sharing this in this group I'm a part of, it was presumably the same person. They're like, hey, ladies, if you're not really into that, then don't agree to it and end up in a situation where you beat up the woman for messing with your man, like the side girl or the third party, we'll say the third party, because like she's messing with your man and all that. And, if you're jealous, then just don't do it, kind of thing. Okay, so to protect the innocent and maybe not so innocent, we're going to talk about this from a completely abstract point of view. And I'm going to say this. Jealousy is very natural. I could have a relationship with someone, not poly, but a relationship, or not a relationship, sorry. I could be dating a guy, and we can have a situation where we're not closed off or whatever. We're open to dating other people, and I can still feel jealous seeing him with another woman. So I say this to say that jealousy is natural, in my honest opinion. I think that no matter how secure you may think you are, that there is a potential that you can observe someone you like with someone else and feel some type of way, even if you just feel left out in that moment. Because like some poly situations, it seems like everybody's together all the time, if you know what I mean. There's no one-on-one. It's always, a group situation. And so let's say you're used to that, or that's what you thought you signed up for, and then you see them one on one. Another thing that makes people who support poly feel uncomfortable, and I'm using the poly in an umbrella term way. I know that there's different, poly refers to like poly amorous, poly something else, I don't know, but I'm just saying it in an umbrella term kind of way, like basically a consensual agreement where you bring in another person or persons into your, you know, relationship, and you are having a relationship with that other person. Either both of you or one of you is having a relationship with that other person, okay? And what I want to say about that is that I think that jealousy is completely natural. Now, if you want to beat up somebody, that's a whole different topic. If you're someone who you're agreeing to this because you just want to make your partner happy, but it's not something you're really into, then that's what this person was referring to when they said, then don't sign up for it. Don't go along with it if it's not something you're really into. I can't tell you what's the right answer and wrong answer on this. I have no idea. All I can say is that, because I think, every situation is unique and all that, but all I can say is that if it's not something you're truly into, don't do it, A. And B, don't let people shame you for feeling jealous. Now, I think at a certain point, you should feel reassured either within yourself or by the other people. And if you don't, then that's a problem too. And what else can I add to that? So I had something else I was going to put on that about jealousy and all that kind of stuff. Oh, yeah. And it is not rare for someone to get attached to someone else and for them to end up being the new couple. Okay. And like, you started out as the wife and you end up fighting to get back into your own bedroom or whatever with your husband. That is not rare. There's some show that was called Sister Wives, I think, or Search for the Sister Wife or something like that. And something like that happened with this guy where he ended up dumping his American wife for this foreign woman, I think from Brazil, but don't hold me to it, but a woman from another country, and they ended up being the central couple, and they're like not wanting to deal with the original wife, who, by the way, I think divorced him so that he could marry that other woman. It was a mess, okay? And that's not unusual either. I also think, I want to add this too, I also think that there are men who will bring up having a poly relationship with women in order to get out of their romantic relationship with that woman. It's not me, what I'm about to say, but I'll just say I have observed people that I think that that's where they were coming from, that they proposed three-way situations and everything, and I think maybe like they wanted the woman to break up with them, okay, or wanted to create some kind of like basically to break, instead of the monotony, the monogamy of their relationship, either or. And they did disrespectful things where they were calling themselves trying to look for a third person. And it's my opinion that it was because they did not want to be with the person they were with, but they didn't have it in them to just outright break it off. So I do think that there's that too. And that Sister Wife show that I just mentioned, that's what it sounds like. That man, he wanted to get rid of the one wife and he tricked her into a divorce, and she gave him one, and then he went off and married that other woman, and that other woman was the one he really wanted. So anyway, that's a real thing. So again, you're definitely not crazy to be jealous or whatever, even if you are enjoying the third person yourself. You're definitely not ridiculous to be jealous or anything. So, anyway, that is the nicest way I can put this very grown up topic and stuff. But if I have more to say on the topic, then I'll come back. Uh, I want to say this. I'm going to add this to the mixture since we're here. So I was told a story, I guess secondhand or whatever. I guess whatever. This was told to someone I knew, and then that person came back and told me. Okay. So many years ago, this person knew a woman who was bisexual and she had a boyfriend. The boyfriend and she chose to have a threesome. Everything was going great. And then she leaves the room, maybe to go to the bathroom, get some water, whatever. And she comes back and they're going at it, just the two of them. And she got very upset. And the person that told me the story, they were on the side of the boyfriend and the woman he was hooking up with, and I was on the side of the girl. I'm going to tell you, they were on the side of the boyfriend saying like, oh, well, you know, they should have worked things out beforehand, and all that, you know, like in other words, when I leave the room, don't do anything, whatever. And my thought process is, why? Okay, as they say, hindsight is 2020. I think that it's impossible to think of every scenario, okay? And you also don't know how something is going to make you feel until you actually put yourself in that situation. And at that point, you're in that situation already, you know? But you don't necessarily know literally how you're going to feel until you experience it. And I think that that's pretty much what happened. Like, you know, she effed around and she found out, I guess, you know? Also, why I was on her side is basically what I just described, which is that, you know, okay, if everybody's chilling before you leave the room and then as soon as you leave they like can't keep their hands off of each other, I could imagine that could be triggering. I could imagine, you know, a lot of people have insecurities. I think a lot of women who sign, I'm just going to level with you, I think a lot of women who sign up for these multi-people situations have a lot of insecurities. In general, I feel like women who feel like they have a ton of options and I'm the prize and all that stuff are less likely to want to share their partner, especially if it's the partner's idea and not theirs. You know what I mean? And I want to be mindful of that, because just in case someone's watching and they're like, oh, I'm in a poly relationship and I think I'm beautiful and da 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 da. I get that. That's cute. I'm saying that I think that there are a lot of women who do not have the greatest self-esteem, and that they sign up for it because they don't think that their options are that fabulous for finding a better guy than the one that they're dealing with, if that makes any sense. So anyway, okay, that's it. If I think of more stuff, I'll come back. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.